Now, here's the thing. I like Azealia Banks as an artist, and I sort of kind of agree with her on some topics, not all topics. But and then people online are just like, oh, well, she's lying. She's just making up just to be relevant in the media. That yada yada yada. From based on what I've read, I
Yes.
feel like she could be possibly telling the truth, just for the simple fact that Russell Crowe has been known to have anger issues. So, do I feel like some of that happened? Yes. Do I feel like all of that happened? Possibly. But I wouldn't say that none of it didn't happen
So,
because
so he attacked her physically?
I guess.
You guess. Okay.
Well, he said he choked her, so
In the
yeah, I guess
police
it's a
report,
physical attack.
in the police report, she said that he choked her
Why?
Right.
What?
because that mouth.
So she pissed him off and he choked her. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I don't.
Well,
I think Azealia Banks has had this coming a long time, but personally, because I think she's a cunt anyway. But go ahead.
Well, see, the thing, and the story is, according to what I'm reading, they're not giving any details on how it led up to that event.
Yeah.
It just said there was a disagreement, and then all of a sudden, Russell Crowe went and choked her. So I'm like, but see, when you say there's an event that led up to that, like, I need to know what led up to that. Like, that's like a huge chunk that's missing. Like, did she
right.
say something? Did he do something? Like, what made it get to that point? Like, I don't think Azealia Banks would just walk into the door and Russell Crowe was like, that bitch, and then just charge at her and start choking her. I like, it had to be. I mean, I'm sure the media is leaving a huge chunk of this out, but like, I need the details just to say
Right.
that she was choked and everything. Yeah.
Right, and we know she's problematic. We know she has a lot of history with legal issues. And there were a few articles that came out last month because she had announced that she had signed to a new record label, and she was working on bettering herself, and she apologized up and down for her old ways and said that she was turning a new leaf, and here we are. So I think ultimately, time will tell. Obviously, it sounds like something that is going to be a legal matter, and we'll see. But I saw today that it's come out that it was recorded, it was filmed, and Azealia Banks says that she's happy it was filmed. So I guess if that ever becomes public or descriptions of it become public, we'll know what really happened.
Okay. Well, that was interesting. All right.
But after I heard her yell faggot up and down the airplane,
Yeah.
to everybody that was sitting in the airplane and attacked everybody, I don't have much respect for her, especially since nobody really knows her music. They just know that she's in the headlines nonstop. And why she's in the headlines nonstop, I don't know, because nobody really knows her for her music.
It sounds like a Kardashian issue or Kardashian.
Right? I'm like, oh my God. I'm trying to get rid of her. I don't even want to talk about her.
Tell us about Lady Gaga's new album, which we played part of earlier.
So, yes, we played the song, The Million Reasons, which I really like that song. That's the only song I like on the album. So the album leaked yesterday in full. It's being traced back that the reason that the album leaked was that a store in Belgium on Monday put the albums out on the shelves instead of waiting until Friday. Human error. Was it on purpose? Who knows? No one cares. But people came in, they saw the album was there, they bought the album, uploaded it online, and now it's just running rampant. So happy hunting for those links, but they are out there. So she said over the course of the last month or two since she's been promoting this album, she started out promoting it as a pop rock album. Now she's calling it a pop country album that's rooted with rock influences. And after listening to the album, I have to say it was quite boring. And not in a million reasons like ballady kind of way. Like, that song has a lot of structure to it. It's lyrically very strong. The vocal performance on it is very strong. The key change is nice. But the other songs kind of just feel like they don't go anywhere. The single came out, Perfect Illusion. It didn't do very well. I think it charted like number 15, which you have to keep in mind. Again, is that terrible for any artist? No. I mean, to chart is a great thing for any artist, but when we're talking about an artist that in the last 5 years, everything they touched literally turned to platinum, diamonds, and gold, and she released an album, and both of her albums she released in this 2-year span sold over 1 million copies in the first week. So for an artist like that to so quickly not be able to chart that as high as they once did, I don't know. It's a cause for concern. We talked about this a couple weeks ago when the song first came out, and we essentially just said that it just came down to it not being a very good song. But it is out for streaming now, and so I guess the question I'm proposing is: do you think that the record label leaked it themselves so that they could then say that the album didn't do very well because of the leak? Or do you think that it was an accident? Or do you care? Or are you interested in the album? Any of the above?
I think that I haven't heard the whole album because I haven't downloaded the link that you talked about, but I just heard the ones they have on iTunes so far, the 3 songs. But I was hoping that the whole album would be similar to the ballad I played, or even Perfect Illusion was okay. It wasn't great, but it was all right. Those 2 songs were good enough. But I think that this is what I think. I think Lady Gaga is, first of all, she took a break between her last album and this one to focus on acting and other things. Is someone clipping their nails? What is that sound? It sounds really bad. Anyway, so she took a break between those 2 albums, and I think that probably plays into it as well. But also, and Madonna's had this issue as well in the past. She's done an album or 2 that have been lazy albums, and I call this probably one of those albums where they just want to phone it in, and they want to make some money, phone it in, and fulfill their obligation to the record label, whatever. And that's what I probably think she's doing here. I'm not saying that she's not. I think she's a good artist. I think she's a great singer, actually, and I think she has the talent to pull it off. But you have to actually really put effort into it. And the song I heard, the A-OK, whatever the fucking song it was lazy to me and boring, like you mentioned. The rest of the album you said was. So if it's similar to that, then I think it's probably one of her albums where she just phoned it in, and it is her fault if that's what she did. So that's what I think.
Yeah.
What about you, Jason?
I
don't think Jason cares.
I know you don't care, but
I like Lady Gaga, but I'm not buying the album because I don't like it like that.
Yeah.
And her past 2 albums, maybe it's just me, but her past 2 albums have just really not done good. They just really haven't been doing good. So it's a combination of both. I like her, but at the same time I partially don't care. And partially, well, not partially, I'm not buying the album just because.
I think she has an identity
like
crisis.
Her, I don't like her like that, though. You know what I mean?
I think she has an identity crisis, though. It's like she doesn't really. I mean, that's like you said. The last 2 albums, have been vastly different from one another. First of all, but also Art Pop. I think was the last one. Wasn't it the last one? Art Pop. It sucked.
Yeah, that was the last.
It sucked so bad. I hated it.
Because I like Gaga for her pop songs. I don't like Gaga for doing love ballads and all that. Now leave that to other people who do that kind of stuff.
Why? She has the voice for ballads. She can carry a fucking ballad. She can sing.
No, I mean but yes, she does. But
you like pop star Gaga.
Yeah, I like that. But I mean,
the Fame and Born This Way, basically that era.
I mean, I've heard her sing different songs and stuff like that. And yes, she does have the vocals to do that.
Yeah,
but clearly the rest of the world disagrees because it ain't selling shit. So,
I think she's just, like I said, I think the problem is she's being complacent. That's what I think. Because I know she has the talent as a songwriter and as an artist to actually make an album that is a really amazing hit. But I think she just has grown complacent, and that's what she's doing. Like Madonna did this album called Hard Candy, which was fucking horrible. Right?
Oh, God.
And MDMA wasn't very good either. So when she did those 2 albums, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're supposed to fucking focus on the fucking music and your song. You could tell she was phoning it in. And so I kind of think like that's what she's doing too, and it's sad. But I think she'll come back. I think, honestly, she's going to learn a lesson because I think this album's going to tank as well. I'm sure it will, probably. And if that happens, because of the leak, not because of the leak, whatever, she's going to put some fucking effort in the next one, hopefully, and actually let us hear her talent again. So let's hope for that. For those of us who care. Those of us who care.
I don't like to put artists in a box or say that like I expected her to be this particular kind of artist, because I think as an artist, you want to express yourselves in different ways, and just like Madonna, has reinvented herself in different sounds and genres. It's still at the core of it. It hasn't lost sight of who she is as a vocal performer and a songwriter. It still is true to Madonna, even though it taps into country sounds or dance sounds or hall sounds or whatever. And I kind of feel like that's what she's not in tune with. I feel that disconnect, and it's hard for me to connect to her.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like her core audience, I'm just throwing a number out there, is probably between like 13 and...
That's not true.
The 40
but not anymore, though.
Then they were like maybe 5-6 years ago, but not now. Now they're like 20s.
But even the people who known her for a pop artist, I don't think they're gonna go out and buy it.
I think they will. Just like there are hardcore Madonna fans like me.
You search #Joanne, the fans are not too happy.
I saw the opposite. I saw these people go, "Oh my god, it's amazing! It's a piece of work, art, or whatever." That's what I saw.
Well, to each their own, but some of the things that I were reading on there, I don't know. But I will say, if you want to look at artists that cross over from pop to country, just take a one solid look.
Taylor Swift.
At Jessica Simpson.
Oh, whatever. Taylor Swift's a better...
Taylor Swift was country and she jumped over to pop.
So what do you say?
Taylor Swift was always bubblegum. But Taylor Swift was always bubblegum.
Don't even bring her name up. Because the way I feel about Taylor Swift is the way Donovan feels about Donald Trump. She just gets on my nerves. But honestly, when he played the opening song, I had no idea that was Lady Gaga. I thought that was like Linda Perry or some shit.
Did you like that song or not?
Huh?
Did you like it?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was Linda Perry or someone. I was like, who is this Linda Perry? I'm like, she ain't getting up with an album and a song in about 50 years.
No.
Yeah, so I was like, when you said it was Gaga, I was like, ooh.
I don't know.
Now they're talking about.
I like it, but anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. Speaking of Donald Trump, did you see SNL's portrayal of him this weekend or not? I did.
Yes.
Because I watch it every week, but yeah.
The skit was hilarious, and they not only just picked on him, they picked on Hillary too.
Yes, they did.
So it was funny.
The next thing is tomorrow. The next debate, the final debate between them is tomorrow. So if you're gonna watch one,
are you gonna watch it?
I've watched all of them, so of course I will. I'll watch the third one.
I have to. I'll watch it tomorrow as well.
Yeah. So I think it's a good time. If you haven't watched one, if you're listening, and you haven't watched one of the debates, definitely watch the last one so you can see what we're all talking about. And kind of catch on the nuance between what's going on between the two of them and the audience and the moderators and see what you think. But you guys are registered to vote, right? Both of you, and you're both going to vote, right?
Yep, because if we weren't, it's too late now.
Yeah, it's the 11th was the last day. I think it was the 11th or something.
Yep, it was the 11th. That is correct.
Yeah, so if you're listening, and you are registered to vote, for God's sakes, fucking vote when it comes November 8th or whatever it is this year.
November 24th.
That's if you're a Trump supporter. But if you're a Hillary supporter, vote on the 8th, okay? Anyway, there is I was talking about this at the beginning of the show, and I kind of know him. I mean, kind of, not the way you think, but I kind of know him. His name is Jim Walker. He was on Fox local affiliate years ago, and he actually is now a very highly successful porn star with Titan and Minute Play and like other studios. And he actually he had a partner for a long time, whatever. His partner died. And he, as a result, he himself contracted, I think, HIV. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'm not saying publicly for sure. But anyway, whatever the case may be, he had health problems and he had financial problems. And so he didn't know what to do because he got fired by the network for saying he was, quote unquote, unlikable just out of the blue. So what he decided to do was since he was unemployed and didn't know what else to do and he didn't make money, he decided to become both a male escort and a adult film star. So he now is extremely successful at 44 years old as both of these things. And I think that's fine. I think it's perfectly fine. I have nothing against it. But what do you think about, someone using the porn industry or the escort industry to meet their financial needs versus going to McDonald's or whatever. Or and also the fact that he actually is over 40 and actually really successful. What do you think about those two things? That's what I wanted to know.